Hi, my name is Amy McDonald, and just wanted to share my testimony. My parents divorced when I was just 2 years old, and through the divorce, they both come from Christian homes, but they chose to turn their backs on God, and so I was not raised in a Christian home. I was raised in a single family home with my mom. And in the 70s, it was hard for her to find jobs because of that, and my dad not being a part of our lives. We would live in different places, different situations. We would live with different people or in hotels or a couple times when we lived in a warehouse, so very hard. And my grandparents, though, were Christians. They were believers, and they were always, I know they were always praying for my mom and for us kids. And when I was in second grade, my grandparents got permission to take my sister and I to they called it a crusade, and it was held in in like a high school football field. And I heard the gospel, and I knew what sin was. I knew what it was like to be hurt by people, and I knew what it was like to hurt people, even at that young age. And so when I heard the gospel, and I heard about sin, and I heard about God sending his son to die for our sin, I believed it. I knew that I was a sinner, and I knew that I needed to be saved. And I went forward, but as a child going to this big crowd of people, and they did like the general prayer and stuff, I didn't quite understand what was happening. And the next night I went forward again, and a lady did sit with me that second night and kind of went over the verses with me and just gave me this little booklet to go through. But the problem was I went home where there was no, we didn't go to church. My mom had turned her back on the Lord. She never talked. I had no idea that my mom ever went to church or things like that, just because she just never talked about the Lord at all. That being said, I had this faith. I had this belief that there was a God, and I believed in Jesus, but I didn't go to church. I swore all the time. I just did what heathen children do. And it wasn't until I was in junior high school, I had a foster brother, and he was going to a church across the street from where we were living at that time. And he actually invited my mom and my sister and I. The gospel was preached there, and I didn't get saved during the Christmas program that he had invited us to. But my sister and I kept going, even though my mom didn't. And after a while, the pastor preached the gospel. I knew, again, that I was a sinner, and I knew I needed to be saved. The battle, that battle was raging, and it was raging, and I finally made my decision, and I pulled myself up out of this chair. They didn't have people there that dealt with you. Like, they didn't show you the scripture verses. They just, oh, well, you prayed, you went forward, you're saved. I had started reading the Bible, and it was alive for me, and Lord literally was a father to the orphan, kind of, so to speak. And I was learning all these things I didn't know. It really changed my life, and I'm just truly grateful that the Lord saved me.